Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're going to take you right now to News Chopper 4. Up ahead, an LAPD pursuit right now that originated from the Newton Division. Let's reach Julia Dang to give us more on what you are seeing. Julia.
Yeah, so this has been on and off the freeway. It was northbound on the 110 and then southbound on the 110. Now it is westbound on the 10 freeway. I'm zoomed in on the black and white right behind it. Again, LAPD in pursuit. I believe it is back on the freeway now. It momentarily got off the 10 west at Washington. I think it's getting back off the freeway now, but the want is armed and dangerous. Assault with a deadly weapon. And I'm going to toss it back to you right now. I'm hearing new information on the scanner about where this driver went. I believe it is off the freeway again and then getting back on the 10 West.
All right, so let me just catch everyone up as you're getting this new information there. The time of the call, according to the police department, was 12:25, so just before 12:30 this afternoon. They were trying to make a traffic stop at 8th and Spring, which is in downtown Los Angeles, and that is, very an area with a lot of different freeways there kind of coming together. So getting on the 10, the 110 kind of makes a lot of sense in terms of that particular location. Julia Dang is up ahead with more. Julie, what have you learned?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, busy area downtown. When we first started hearing this on the LAPD scanner just before 12:30 this afternoon, and you can see how this driver is now weaving in and out of traffic, driving through that gore point again on the 10 West. So it was downtown at first. LAPD Newton Division and then Central Division got involved. They have a helicopter over this as well. You can see that driver up on the shoulder here just trying to shake off these black and whites on the ground. I'm counting about half a dozen LAPD units behind it. I have not heard them talk about handing this off to CHP just yet. That tends to happen when this gets on the freeway. But it was on the 110, it was on the 10, got off, got back on. I've counted this car getting off the freeway at least 4 times now before getting back on. And you see how he's driving, not going very fast, but definitely weaving in and out of traffic, not signaling any of these lane changes. And on top of this driving, this dangerous driving behavior, what's really concerning here is the initial want. It's not just failure to yield. This driver is believed to be armed and dangerous. The want here is assault with a deadly weapon. We did hear LAPD saying they believe this driver has a firearm. So we don't know anything else about the driver, where he might be headed, and if there's a passenger in this vehicle, but it's this dark gray sedan that currently is headed west on the 10 freeway. Looks like it's coming up on National Boulevard. This is going to be in the Culver City area, and as I widen out, you can see in the same lane, right behind that car, 2 black and whites here. I'm counting 2, 3, and then the helicopter up overhead. But I'm going to zoom back in as this driver speeds up again. We don't want to lose eyes on this, and like I said, getting on and off the freeway, we momentarily lost him. When he got off quickly, drove around that storage unit, made a quick turn, and then got back on the freeway. So this driver does not look impaired to me, just based on the driving behavior. This driver is trying to get away. Again, the want here, assault with a deadly weapon.
Julia, Annabelle here, joining Lolita at the desk. Let's talk about the game plan, because this is, we're dealing with the person who's, the wants is an assault with a deadly weapon here. What would be the game plan?
Well, they can't try a pit maneuver because of how this driver is moving on the 10 freeway. If our speedometer is correct, and you can see this driver zooming past other cars here, exceeding 90 miles per hour. I think I saw that number hit triple digits, 110 miles per hour, and now we're slowing down. So they can't pit this car. I mean, it's just way too dangerous at those speeds, and there are too many drivers out here on a weekday afternoon for LAPD to try that. So they're going to keep eyes on this. That's going to be their primary tactic right now, watching this from the air, following this on the ground, and I'm listening to the LAPD scanner, waiting to see if they hand this off to CHP. This has been on the 10 freeway now for at least a good 10 minutes without this driver trying to exit, but he is just weaving in and out of traffic. I don't know why he's doing that, because he's got a clear lane in front of him if he just stays in that fast lane. But for a moment before you tossed to me, he was in the HOV lane too. And then it was northbound on the 110 before getting on the 10, southbound on the 110. So we don't know where this driver is leading LAPD. But Annabelle, to answer your question, what is their strategy? They're going to try and get this guy to stop.
Yeah, and coming back here as we take those pictures, and I'm here joined by Annabelle Lolita Lopez here. We've been following this now for several minutes. It's a pursuit that started out of the Newton Division, so in downtown, about half an hour ago, and they're looking for what appears to be a dangerous suspect in this.
Right, and we've seen the erratic driving there. We've seen this driver hit up to 100 miles per hour. Julia Dang, overhead news chopper 4. You've been monitoring this guy. Again, we don't know actually if it's a male or a woman who is behind the wheel, but we do know that this driver is driving erratically. And Julia, you mentioned that this person, the wants, is here assault with a deadly weapon. So we are talking about a person who could be very dangerous.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard on the LAPD scanner multiple times now, armed and dangerous, and just hearing the sense of urgency in their voices when they were first calling out this pursuit, that caught our attention. And you see that tight squeeze between these two lanes. This driver exceeding 70 miles per hour now, exceeding 80 miles per hour. He's moving so quickly westbound on the 10 freeway. He is about to run out of freeway as we approach Santa Monica now. You saw him that overpass, the sign there. 4th Street looks like he is exiting now. Downtown Santa Monica. This driver wanted for assault with a deadly weapon, believed to be armed and dangerous.
And
so as he comes up dangerously close to that curb and weaves in and out of these lanes, let's see which way he decides to turn. Looks like it's going to be a right-hand turn onto 4th Street now in downtown Santa Monica. LAPD still in hot pursuit. LAPD helicopter over this as well as he starts to speed. Now making a left turn. I thought he was going to make a U-turn over there onto Colorado Avenue, speeding through downtown Santa Monica. And again, this started near downtown LA. And I think you made the point, Lolita, earlier that, you know, that's just a busy area, a lot of foot traffic. Look at the foot traffic here. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. You can see the black and whites behind this pursuit suspect and all of these people walking around downtown Santa Monica. Look at those crowds here. They had no idea LAPD is in pursuit.
At all, in the cars that are in that intersection. I mean, look at this intersection right here. Yeah.
This is such a touristy spot, and again, we're on summer break. So many families out there, close to the beach. Many families heading out to the beach. So there's a lot of traffic, as you can see on camera there.
I don't think this driver knows the area well. If he is trying to get rid of police, if he is trying to get away, this is not a smart area to drive into. And as you see him swerving there, kind of panicking, trying to find a way out of where he's basically boxed himself into between pedestrians, these closures, and of course the officers in hot pursuit. You got to wonder if he's about to bail out. I don't know if he's going to try and do that in this intersection, but now he's turning circles, trying to decide where to go. And again, based on the driving we saw on the freeway, this guy did not look impaired. And what is happening over here?
Running.
Did you see that? The woman in the green pants, she just fell down. I think these people are worried about this driver maybe driving into the crowd. You know, we just saw that happen over the weekend in East Hollywood. You see this kind of driving, it is natural to have that kind of fear. So pedestrians here backing away. And I don't know what this driver is trying to do.
And the police, it looks like he's coming out here. We're going to let you describe what's happening.
There was a dog in the car as well. He's got his hands up. And hopefully this comes to an uneventful end now. Started in downtown LA, got on the 110, got on the 10, and I think this is now coming to an end in downtown Santa Monica.
Definitely quite a distance to travel, as again, they were apparently looking for a person with a deadly weapon. And they had said, you know, be careful with what's going on. You spoke of the erratic movement. You saw people running there, Annabelle, in downtown. You spoke of that nightclub incident just over the weekend. When you see a car traveling like this and you're on the sidewalk like this, you just never know what can happen. But it does look like the driver is now listening to the police department there as they're getting ready to, it appears, to take this person into custody. You
know, and I'm so happy that these people were very much aware of what was going on, right? They just started running. And of course, you know, just to protect themselves, because again, we don't know what this driver was capable of doing. But you see them, you see officers there, you see him on the ground. And assuming that officers are going to approach him and, of course, arrest him.
Yeah, and Julia was also mentioning how the dog came out.
Yeah.
It appears that the dog was in the car with this person as he was driving through there. Again, this initially started about 12:30 this afternoon, looking for a person possibly armed with a deadly weapon. The police officers chased this person through multiple freeways and many miles, and the dog now getting back into the car as we see there. This originated out of the downtown Los Angeles area to Santa Monica, quite a distance to travel. And as Julia was talking about, and we showed you, once you get off there in Santa Monica, you either lock yourself in to that area or to the beach. Not much area to go to as we see officers now approaching. Julia, can you tell us what else you're seeing from above?
Yeah, I think this is finally coming to an end, and I think it's just so unfortunate that all these pedestrians, probably tourists, I wonder if any of them are in LA for the first time, they had to see something like this. Yes, we have police pursuits very frequently on LA roads, but for this to come to an end the way it did with that kind of driving behavior in downtown Santa Monica during a beautiful summer afternoon like this, really unfortunate. And that dog must have been terrified. But this driver now up on his feet, they've got him cuffed, and he is going to be behind bars for quite a while. Again, the initial want here: armed and dangerous assault with a deadly weapon. I'm going to stay wide here so we can see what the officers are doing now with the car. They're going to check the trunk, they're going to check all the seats, and we'll see if they find that weapon they were talking about.
You know, again, this started in an area that is very busy and then ended in an area that's also very busy. I mean, we saw this guy, attempting to do a U-turn there. We did see him do a U-turn just, a couple of blocks before that. So a lot of erratic driving there, and a lot of people who witnessed it all. I'm sure a lot of people are just terrified seeing what they were seeing.
That's right. It is incredible, Annabelle, that we did not see anybody get hurt. No pedestrians were hurt during this pursuit. This driver somehow did not hit anybody else, even though he was exceeding speeds of 110 miles per hour when he was driving westbound on the 10 freeway coming from downtown LA and heading into Santa Monica. You saw, I think it was near National Boulevard in the Culver City area when he really hit the gas and started doing, 100, 108 miles per hour, 110. And I was so worried when I saw him squeezing between other vehicles, even though he really didn't have to. Like I mentioned earlier, he had that clear shot in the fast lane. For some reason, decided not to take it.
Well, Julia, thank you so much for giving us all of those important details. We're going to continue to follow this all afternoon and have more on the NBC4 News starting at 3 o'clock.